Hmm.
What time is it where you're at?
Well, if I told you, that would give you my longitude, wouldn't it?
I like that. That's so, yeah, that's I was wondering if you were going to get something for that one. So
yeah, no, I was not born yesterday.
We're trying to triangulate.
There we go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Build Your Own Brandcast. We've got a special episode today. Some of you guys know that Sam right here is our new growth hacker. He's our community success manager, and he reached out to Mr. Mcafee and his team, and we were able to get him on the show. I don't know if he's on planet Earth or not right now, but how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for both thinking of me and inviting me, and being polite enough to Mrs. Mcafee here that she didn't hang up on you. So good.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that. It was actually a super efficient process with getting you on the show. And so just to kind of let you know a little bit about our podcast, it's called the Build Your Own Brandcast. We're really a platform to present people with, elite decision makers, people who have achieved things that other people would potentially want to achieve, and provide them with the perspective and experiences that can help them to create a self-directed life. Our mantra really is be elite, and based around that, we believe is at the middle of the word elite is the letter I. And as long as somebody is clear about who I am and what I'm doing, they can block out the noise and just be that. And I think that you're really exemplary to that. You definitely live in your own lane. And I definitely wanted to kind of first start out by asking you, like, how important is independence and freedom to you?
Well, I mean, without freedom and independence, who are you? I mean, if you don't own your own body and your own mind, then that implies someone else does. And are you then a puppet for that entity that owns your body and mind, that entity that says you may not smoke weed, or you may not do it's laws are always about nots, right?
Right.
Don't do this, do not do that. So freedom, there's nothing other than freedom, because in freedom, everything falls into place. Freedom means the ability to follow your heart and your mind without fear. Doesn't mean that someone's controlling you and there's a big gate going, no, you cannot pass. It's normally yourself that's limiting your freedom. Your fear of, I hate this job. I'm getting up at 6 every morning and I'm commuting an hour to work, and I'm in a windowless, airless office for 8 fucking hours, and then the reverse home. I do that 5 days a week for 40 fucking years with 2 or 3 weeks vacation thrown in here and there. And you tell me you're not a slave. And you come to that conclusion and you go, well, fuck me. I'm not going to do it anymore. Yeah. And then what happens? But then what happens? What happens is fear sets in. Oh my God, how am I going to feed myself? I've got a family to take care of, children to put through school. You have all of these things that the fear freezes your actions, not your will, but your actions. And yet, if you ignore the fear and say, I don't give a shit if the gates of hell are waiting for me, it can't be any worse than what I'm doing right now. And then you'll find out that, okay, yeah, if you live in the suburbs and you adhere to, you must send your children to a public school and this, yeah, you're fucked. But if you're free, you go, well, how do other people handle this? Oh my God, there's a thing called homeschool. Doesn't cost me jack shit. I don't have to buy outfits or pick them up and worry about that nightmare. Kids are enough problem as they are. What a convenience. You'll find out that if you're not living in the suburbs and you're not having to commute 2 hours a fucking day, that you might not even need a car. I mean, all these things you fear of losing, once you're free, don't mean jack shit. You figure it out.
Yeah.
And did I answer your question? Or did I go off on a tangent? Maybe?
No, you were great.
Was I? Okay. Janice,
No, I've heard.
She'll usually make this sign, like, dear, you wandered off like every old man onto some tangent that has nothing to do with the question. So cut it short and next question. Anyway.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
done.
I definitely don't think that was a tangent. That I think it's super accurate though, and I think that fear aspect, that analysis paralysis aspect, is something that, like, the system, if you will, really does try to leverage to keep people locked into places they don't want to be. I spent some time in the military in Germany, and I remember specifically talking to my supervisor about the decision to get out. Like, the sequester was happening and all this. I'm like, I'm going to bet on myself. And he was like, what are you going to do? There's not jobs out there. Like, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to make it. I was like, I'm my guarantee. Like, what you mean? Like, as long as my brain is on, I'll figure it out.
What branch of the military were you in?
I was in the Air Force. I did satellite communications.
Awesome. Well, you went through all the same shit that everybody else did to go through in basic training and so on. Well, congratulations. I think I never had any military. My military training came from running from authorities that are shooting at me. That's all the training I ever fucking had. But I sometimes wish I'd had the discipline of military training, and so does Mrs. Mcafee, I'm sure, with the messiness that surrounds me everywhere. I leave clothes on the floor. Why pick the fuckers up? I mean, they're not going to crawl off and get away. So,
at least you know where they're at, right? I gotta ask you this:
yes, sir. Go ahead.
Are you armed right now?
Listen, if I told you that, it might give you an indication of the security of my surroundings. That if I am armed, then probably I don't have a full complement of trusted security around me. If I'm not armed, I probably do. And if I do, then where am I that will support that many people? So fuck me, I'm not going to tell you. You guys keep trying. Go ahead.
All right. Well, we'll take a quick break, but we will stay online with the security aspect. Super props to you on building a legendary business with the antivirus software. But today, in the world that we live in, what are some security measures that you think just the general population should always be trying to make sure that they're aware of?
I think the first measure for everybody's security is, you just said the word, awareness. All right. If you're not aware of your surroundings, like if you're not aware that every fucking street corner in almost every city in the world has cameras trained everywhere. Go to a big city and count them, dozens on every fucking corner. Some are owned by the police, some are private security companies, some's got to be the fucking CIA. You walk into any courthouse, any federal building, any state building, even a driver's license bureau. In Tennessee, when I renewed my license, big sign, we're recording everything that's said in this building. It's like, well, fuck me. That's a sign of our times, isn't it? So Be aware. Number one, you have no privacy as long as you are in public, or as long as you carry any electronic gear with you capable of communicating. And that includes your smartphones. In many cases, a watch, any electronic device capable of communicating. And then you don't even know. I mean, I've got a mechanical watch here. Okay, I would never wear an electronic watch because someone could grab it while I'm sleeping, take it apart, and put a fucking transmitter in it. All right. So no, mechanical. You don't have any privacy and therefore no security whatsoever. It's, what are you trying to secure yourself from? If it's from the government, from the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, fucking forget it. Unless you want to live like me, I'm in a Faraday cage.
Let's go! I would expect no less.
So, and as you could see in the corner, I've got the latest 8-channel signal jammer. So even if something fucking leaks out of here, whatever's coming back in, my equipment cannot get a protocol set up so it ain't transferring jack shit.
Right.
So no, try and find my sorry ass, but you can't live like me, most people. You can't, and most people don't need to. There are very few who need to do what I need to do. But for me, and I don't own a phone. A telephone. Why bother? I'm looking at your sorry ass right now, and we're talking and having a great conversation. And so, what do I need a fucking phone for?
Right.
So neither Janice nor I nor my staff. Okay. Outside of this room, there's no goddamn electronics. Now you think, whoa, how do you get along? Well, we talk while we're driving instead of being on our phones. You know, we enjoy our meals. I don't fucking know, but I'm not sorry for myself because I'm unable to carry a phone. Because when I get back into my communications room, I have access to the entire fucking room.
Yeah.
Now, again, question, how? Be aware you don't have any to start with. Isn't that the greatest security? That way you can at least do some countermeasures like disinformation, right? Like, I fuck with the feds all the time. Janice can verify this. In 2014, through a series of fake accounts that I had set up in control, because I knew I was being monitored, was to be involved in a massive shipment of methamphetamine coming from China in a big old boat, largest ever, and had everything, dates. And I made sure that I feel really sorry, by the way, for the crew of this fucking boat. I wasn't thinking, you know, who does? Anyway, so I got manifests and knew what boats were coming in on from where, and even what port number. All right, so suddenly, these poor crew members of some fucking freighter from China are raided and detained for 2 days while every fucking square inch of the boat is searched. Now, I set that fucker up, and I know that it cost the government $2 million fucking dollars. Praise the Lord. And again, I'm sorry for that crew member. No one was harmed on the fucking crew, all right? Delayed. In any case, I do shit like this.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing different games, but you have control over your mental. I think you have a communications room, so when you're not in there, you're able to be 100% present with where you are at and what you're doing.
Right. But let's assume you don't, because I'm talking about times when I didn't use one, and I was using the fact that I knew they were watching me to set up a scenario where they believed I did not know that they were watching me. And so I'm saying we've got a huge shipment of drugs coming in and all this, everything's coordinated, and they know it's happening because they are sure that I don't know they're listening. That's called disinformation. Now, we're in that world, my friend. They're watching you. You need to learn a different dance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, be the fool on the street or whatever. Does it fucking matter what you pretend to be? Then that's who they, because here's the beauty of the limits of their technology. It can't go beyond the surface of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens inside is utterly under your control. I mean, I've pulled some funny shit with the authorities. Okay, here's another story. Okay, so here's one. And it's not always the authorities. I mean, am I boring you guys?
No, hit us.
I love this.
Yeah. Janice?
Yes.
Come here, please.
Yes.
All right, let's Junior have the thing.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway.
How
so
are
now,
you, Janice?
I'm good. How are you?
We're not always just hounded by the authorities. We're hounded by the anti-authorities as well. And we ran afoul of the Sinaloa, not the Sinaloa cartel, but the Belizean government which has no real power out of police, who hired the Sinaloa cartel to collect me alive and take me back to police, where I needed to answer some serious questions, not about my behavior, but about what information I had about the Belizean government. So now, for 2 years, we were running literally every fucking night. So we're on the road this whole time. So we stop, I think it's some small town in Indiana, pull in, and I do my normal check. Sure enough, a Hummer, a yellow, brand new Hummer, pulls up and backs up almost to the bushes, which is, I thought, that's fucking strange. 3 guys get out, they go in the front, I go out the back, and I look, there's no plate on the front. I crawl through the bush and I look, no plate on the back. All right, no license plates. So I go back as a Janus back, we're going. So before those bastards could check in, we're gone. First thing I do, grab my cell phone. Okay, we had cell phones at that phase, and we will again sometime. Dialed 911. I said, we just checked out of the hotel. I can't remember the name of the hotel, and I don't know what to say, but we were coming by a yellow Hummer that was parked there, and we heard a muffled screaming from the back of a woman. And I know I should have done something, but I was just too afraid, you know. So, and they wanted to know who I was. I gave my real fucking name, John Mcafee. I wasn't wanted by the authorities for anything at that point. So, John Mcafee, cell phone. And then we wandered on, but we kept talking about,
Yes.
I wonder now what's going to happen. They go in. Who owns the yellow Hummer? Well, these 3 guys, and these are sketchy looking motherfuckers, all right?
Very sketchy.
They're sketchy. They've got a car that's unfucking documented, right? And a report that there was a woman with muffled screams in the back.
Right.
Now, there's no woman there now, but you know those bastards took that woman out, probably murdered her in the woods. We don't fucking know, but neither do the police, right? And so, you know.
They're coming guns blazing.
You know those bastards did some time in jail and answered some serious fucking questions. So we do shit like that.
Yes, we do.
All right.
Yeah.
You still have powers. You have powers against anything. It's your attitude to matter.
Yeah, and I think one big thing now is, we used to live in like a panopticon. You had like the government seeing everything, and you go to DC, and that really almost still is the case. But now we live in an omnipticon. Like, we're all watching each other. Everybody's monitoring each other at all times. We're kind of like self-reporting on each other too. So kind of controlling that information becomes even more important in that space, right?
Yeah. Listen, we have an emergency here. I am 2 sips away from the end of my tequila, in which case I will simply move a long way away outside the communications room to refill. So I would say we've got 4 to 5 minutes left, just to inform you. If there's anything important you want to talk about, then I can talk about that too. All right.
For sure. You have any questions?
Yeah, mainly, let's look. Maybe about crypto and the decentralized exchange you're thinking, or you're already going forward starting. Is there any way for, say, agencies, or really anyone who doesn't like that distributed nature of those exchanges, can they shut down domains and stuff like that, or are those pretty much like unbreakable?
Well, nothing's unbreakable. Nothing. But a truly decentralized and distributed. See, people use these words interchangeably, not the same thing. Decentralized, nobody's controlling. Distributed, all over the fucking world. So you can have a decentralized exchange, which is in one location, even though it's functioning in a decentralized fashion, meaning even the people running the server aren't in control. There's just some portal, something. Okay, well, that can be shut down. The reverse, I don't know, it's kind of hard to do the reverse. No, it's not. Distributed, meaning it's everywhere, but not decentralized, meaning that there's, I don't know, a foundation. What's a foundation? bunch of people trying to hide behind the fact that they're greedy and taking all the coins. But no, so it's either a bunch of people or one person or a collective of powerful people that are making the decisions. That can be shut down by arresting and collecting the powerful people. But what I have built is both decentralized and distributed. Decentralized meaning we don't ask your name, your phone number, your email address, nothing. Don't have to send us photos of your driver's license or passport, nothing at all. You can enter our exchange from anywhere in the world. North Dakota, Tierra del Fuego, Moscow, we don't care. It doesn't matter. We take no monies. You deposit nothing with us. We charge no fees to list a coin. We have a button at the very top saying add token and put the name and all the technical specs. You're listed, no charge. So nothing anybody can do to me can ever stop that part, which is smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain and will be on other blockchains. How on earth? It's there. It's an immutable being, can't change it, record. And the smart contracts part of that record. So if the SEC comes in and says, you did this illegally, you're not getting KYC, and what about money laundering? And I'm going to go, oh, fuck me. I didn't think of that. Why didn't I think of know your customer and anti-money laundering? Good God, I'm stupid. Well, listen, and I can't change it. I'm sorry. The way I put it together, and again, I wasn't thinking. It can't be changed now. It's there.
Yeah.
However, I tell you what, I'll build one just for you, SEC, or you, IRS, if you want one of your own. But you can't shut mine down. Now, the other reason you can't shut it down is because it is distributed. In other words, portals. Anybody can form their own portal. Our source is open source, both for the smart contracts and for the code. Now, it will take you weeks to try to take that and assemble it and change our logo to yours, which is fine. Or you can come to us, and we'll do it for $395. It takes us 2 fucking days, but it filters out the people who go, I want an exchange. And then you have to have your own website, your own domain. You give us the domain specs and we put it up for you. That's the end of that. Pay us nothing more. You get paid 0.5% on the total of all transactions that go through that portal. Now, we already have 13 that are running, not signed up, running. And we'd have over 100 if we had the staff to put them all up. We were just not anticipating this. So there's that. And just because of human nature, everybody would like to do something that could cost them no work whatsoever, other than paying your domain fees once a year and your server fees, and just collect, Ethereum tokens or whatever you choose to collect it for the rest of your life. So because of that, I know we'll have thousands of portals. And yes, sir, I see a question.
Yeah. So do all those different portals use the same liquidity pool, or are they all separate?
Yeah. Everybody has access to everything.
Really?
No, this is not just yours. And no, this is everything. Whatever's on the Mcafee DEX, you have access to. Something that came into the Mcafee DEX, you can do a transaction against. No, the same thing.
Very nice.
That's
Okay.
awesome. That's awesome.
So what we've done is we've basically created something that regulators cannot shut down. We have a plan of implementation. Currently, all we have is Ethereum tokens, and that's ERC20s up to ERC 1440s. On the 8th, we'll be implementing the Tron chain. On the 1st, we'll be implementing EOS, NEO, and Binance. And then the 1st of May, we'll have our production. We're still in beta. This is all beta, okay? And we're testing and finding surprises we didn't. This is how the world works. You don't sit and design the perfect system, put it out and go home. No, you put together something that you can, if it breaks, you're going to be able to find out what broke, rather than this massive system with 5,000 functions, right? So, we fixed almost all of the bugs we found in beta 1, in beta 0, so in beta 1 now. In any case, by May of next year, we will have the same functionality as Binance, only 1,000 times more, because we will have every token. You want to list your token, go list your token. We're out of the loop. We're just out of the fucking loop. So we've got over 100 devs that are now working on the system in just 2 weeks. I think that's a good sign that we've done something right.
Right.
And so there you have it.
Yeah.
You folks, the thing is, you need to understand you're going to have choices. You can choose, for example, when the U.S. comes out with their crypto coin or crypto dollar, to use that, and they'll even probably say you have to use it, turn you back. You don't have to use it any more than you have to not smoke weed.
Right. Yeah. Choices.
And I've got to go, my friends.
Yes, sir. Hey, we appreciate your time and enjoy your refill there.
All right, thank you. And if you guys are cool, so if you want me back on again, go through Janice. All you gotta do is be polite to her, and then she'll give you anything. If you
Almost anything.
Oh, it's true. Almost.
Yes, sir. If I could ask you one more question, I know that you're a perpetual kind of candidate for president. If you do get the presidency, does the Oval Office also get a communication set up like you got there?
Well, first of all, if any of your listeners out there think that I have a chance of being president, you need to move out of your mom's basement. Because that ain't happening. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. But even if some weird fluke of space time, a little rip here and there, or who knows, just happens to pass in some gravity wave past the Earth, and suddenly I'm president, I'll just fucking walk out because I don't want the job. No, let me tell you about presidents. Presidents have no power. This is the issue. Our government, the United States, is owned by our covert secret services, the CIA and NSA and our military intelligence, Army, Navy, Air Force intelligence, by the Secret Service. These people have the secrets. A president's only there for 4 years and 8 at the most. These people are career. They've been there for 35 years. Presidents don't matter to them. Do you understand? Presidents are only told what the covert community chooses to tell them. And they act on that intelligence. You understand the insanity? So presidents have no power. You sit in that Oval Office and you have 1,000 strings attached to you, more than any puppet ever created by man. And you've got no freedoms. Well, fuck me. I'm not taking that job. I just want people to understand the problem and the issue and where corruption comes from. It comes from secrecy within our government. And with that, I will bid you adieu. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
We appreciate your time. Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peace.